Senator John McCain making the prospect of a Democratic supermajority in Washington part of his final argument for the White House. McCain now saying that a trio of Democrats from the White House through Congress is a danger America cannot afford. Here he is yesterday during our program. Roll it.
Now, this election comes down to how you want your hard-earned money spent. Do you want to keep it and invest it in your future, or have it taken by the most liberal person to ever run for the presidency and the Democratic leaders, the most liberal, who have been running Congress for the past 2 years, Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid? You know, my friends, this is a dangerous threesome.
Is he right? Want to debate that now with Fox News contributor, former Pennsylvania Senator, Republican Rick Santorum, and Democratic Congressman Dennis Kucinich out of Ohio. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. Senator, start us off here. Is McCain right?
Oh, he's absolutely right. And, you know, this is Dennis Kucinich's dream, to have a very liberal president with a dominant House that's controlled by the Democrats and the left. And the most important thing here is the Senate. You know, with Ted Stevens' conviction, I think the chances of the Republicans staying away from 60 votes is getting thinner and thinner. I'd be surprised if we do better than 41 seats. And if Republicans only have 41 seats, given the 3 or 4 Republicans who will almost always vote with the Democrats on one issue, one way or another, the Democrats are going to have de facto control, filibuster-proof control of the Senate, which means they have a blank check. They can pretty much do whatever they want to do.
You said it's
that's a huge shift.
You said it's the dream of Dennis Kucinich. Jump in here.
Well, I mean, I don't think Rick gets it. The American people are going to expect jobs, protect their housing, investors' security. We've got to get this country back on its feet economically, and we don't need a stalemated government to do that.
Well, Senator,
you know, the Democrats can help take us in a new direction. You know, I think the American people want a new direction.
Senator Santorum, yesterday in our 5 o'clock show, Senator Schumer was on, and we got into this whole debate as to whether or not the economy is not strong. Can you still go forward with the tax cuts that Senator Obama says he'll provide for 95% of all Americans? Now, what he suggested yesterday is that those tax changes will not be immediate. In other words, they'll have to go in the back burner given the current economic situation. Is that the way this thing is shaping up?
I think you're going to see a lot of pressure from the Dennis Kuciniches of the world, the Democrats in the House and the Senate. You know, the bottom line is that, you know, Barack Obama is the president, but as we all know, Congress originates the legislation. That, you know, Barack Obama will provide some leadership. He'll say, I want a tax bill, but, you know, he will ultimately not write it. Charlie Rangel and the Ways and Means Committee will write that, and you're going to see a health care plan written by Ted Kennedy and the folks in the Senate. You're going to have very left-wing folks in the Congress who are running these committees, the Barney Franks of this world, who are going to be putting these packages together. Barack Obama, who has very little experience in Washington, D.C., is going to have a real challenge on his hand as to whether he can control them or whether, in fact, he agrees with the kind of liberalism. For example, the card check bill, which takes away the private ballot for union certification elections.
Let me get to your opponent here, Dennis Kucinich, again, about what America has taught us about divided government. They like divided government. And I think what Bill Clinton learned back in 1992 is you can't overreach. And if you do overreach, you get things like the Republican Revolution in 1994. Your view on that?
Well, let me tell you something about this. In 1932, Franklin Roosevelt recognized that we had to have broad economic reforms in order to be able to deliver to the American people jobs, a new infrastructure, retirement security. And the only way we're going to do it in 2008 is for the Democrats to have the ability to do that. And so I think the American people want this new direction, and I think they're going to vote Democrat in this election because they want the new direction.
Well, what about this whole argument?
They don't want to lose any more of their investments or their jobs. They want a new direction.
Senator Santorum, what about this whole idea about divided government? I mean, Senator McCain made the argument. Is that sinking in over the next 7 days?
I certainly hope so, because just to be very clear, I think it is highly unlikely that the Republicans will have enough votes to stop to filibuster some of these extreme measures. If you go back to the Bill and Hillary days of 1993 and 94, a lot of the extreme measures, the big increase, the BTU tax, and the midnight basketballs, and the changes they wanted to make with gays in the military, as well as the health care bill, all of that was stopped in the Senate because we had enough votes there to either make sure that they were defeated or make sure that they were tempered to reflect the broad population of the American public. What you're talking about here is what Dennis said. I mean, you're going to get a new direction, and it is a big leftward lurching direction on every level of government.
You don't get it.
If we don't have
people want to save their jobs, they want to save their homes, and they want a government that's in a position to do that. Because, you know, the private sector has failed. They're looking for money to be bailed out. I voted against the bailout, but the fact of the matter is that the people want a new direction, and divided government isn't going to provide that. And you know that.
Senator?
Dennis is right. I'm not disagreeing with you, Dennis. I agree with you, except I don't think the American public has any concept of what they're in for. This new direction that you've been advocating, you've been a very clear voice of the left, and is not.
This isn't about left or right. It's about up or down.
Okay.
Both of you men come from key states. In the time I have left, Dennis Kucinich, what's Ohio going to do next Tuesday?
Very close race. I'd give the edge to Obama.
Where will it be decided in your state?
Well, the turnouts in northern Ohio.
Cuyahoga County?
If Obama builds big margins there, that'll help.
All right, Senator Santorum.
If McCain runs strong in the South, that'll help him. I give the edge to Obama.
Okay. Senator Santorum, PA?
I'd say that right now I'd have to give the edge to Obama, too. The place that John McCain is actually underperforming is where he is today. He's in central Pennsylvania. The vaunted Republican T is not performing well for him right now, and particularly south central Pennsylvania, which is the conservative Republican area of the state. He's underperforming there very badly, and he's spent a lot of time there. If he can get those numbers up, this could be, this could be a counter, sort of Pennsylvania could be counter the trend, which is it's been a traditional Democrat state and could go in the Republican column.
Thank you, Senator. Dennis Kucinich, thanks to you as well. We'll see you 7 days from now. Gentlemen, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.